Okay, slope-intercept form is going to be the most common way that you see equations of lines written. It makes it really easy to graph, and it's just everybody uses it. So it looks like this: y equals mx plus b. All right, so the m represents the slope of the line, and the b represents the y-intercept, which, in other words, this is where the line crosses the y-axis. We talked about that when we did graphing lines using intercepts, right? So that's where the line crosses the y-axis. All right, so we got a line here, the graph of a line, and we want to be able to figure out what's the equation of this line just by looking at it. So for starters, let's just find the y-intercept, which is where the line crosses the y-axis. And it's going to be right here. So we could say that the y-intercept is equal to 2. Right? It is a point on a line, so technically maybe you should write 0, 2. But for this purpose, we really just need the y value, because we know any point that crosses the y-axis is going to have an x value of 0. Play that back again if that didn't make sense. Every y-intercept, its x value is always equal to 0. So we really just care about that y value right there. So now that we got that, we can figure out what the slope is. So as we talked about, just go left to right. So I'm going to pick this point here and that point, and let's figure out what the rise is. Are we going up or down from this point to that point there? Well, we're going down, so that means we're going to have a rise is equal to -3, because we're going down 3, right? 1, 2, 3. All right, and then what's the run? Well, what's the horizontal distance that we got to travel to get from this point to that point? Well, that's just going to be 1. So run is equal to 1. All right, so that means our slope is going to be rise over run, which is equal to -3 over 1. -3 over 1, that's just simply -3. So we have our slope, m is equal to -3. So we got our slope, we have our y-intercept. Now we can just write the equation, which is just plugging in these values, right? So we have y is equal to m, which is -3. Then we have x, and then what's our y-intercept? It's 2, so it's going to be +2. So this is a very easy and straightforward way to get your equation from the graph of the line that you're interested in. Okay, here's another one. So always start with finding your y-intercept, which is going to be right here. So that's y-intercept. And the y value of that point, remember, we don't care about the x value. The y value of that point is going to be 0. Right? It's at 0, 0. We just want the y value. Next, we want the slope. So again, you can pick any 2 points on the line. I'm going to go with this one and this one. And we want to first figure out what's the rise, right? What's the vertical change from this point to this point? And it looks like it is just 1. So our rise is equal to 1, +1. And the run is going to be 1, 2, 3. So run is equal to 3. So rise over run is equal to 1 over 3. Can't reduce that. If you wanted to convert it to a decimal, you can, but let's just leave it as that, right? 1/3, 1 over 3. So our slope is equal to 1/3. All right, I have my y-intercept, I got my slope, so I can now write the equation for this graph here, which is going to be y is equal to our slope, 1/3, times x, and then plus 0. And I don't really even need to write the plus 0, because when you add 0 to anything, nothing changes. So we can just keep it as y is equal to 1/3 x. Again, always start with your y-intercept, which is going to be right here in this case. So our y-intercept is equal to 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want slope. So just pick 2 points that you like. I'll go with this one and this one. What's the rise, or what's the vertical change from this point to that point? Well, it looks like we're going to go down. So that means our rise is going to be negative, but how much? So if we're starting here, we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So our rise is equal to -5. And then the run is how much horizontal movement do we have to make. And since we're going to the right, it's going to be positive. So it'll be 1, 2. So our run is equal to 2. Rise over run, or slope, is equal to -5 over 2. We can just leave that as a fraction. That's totally fine. And then we can write our equation. So the equation of this line, this yellow line, is going to be y is equal to our slope, -5 over 2, times x, and then plus 5. Find the y-intercept right here. Y-intercept, and that's equal to 5 again. Now find your slope, pick any 2 points. I'll go with this one and this one. And what's the difference in the rise? What's the change vertically? It looks like it is just 1. So our rise is equal to 1. And the run, or the horizontal change between the 2 points, is also 1. So our slope, m, is equal to rise over run, which is equal to 1 over 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. And our y-intercept is 5, so we can say that this equation is equal to y is equal to our slope, 1 times x, and then plus our y-intercept. Since our slope is 1 here, you never really see 1 written, so we can just write this as y is equal to x plus 5. Both of those are correct, but this one you could say is more correct. What if we wanted to go backwards? So you got an equation and you want to graph it really quick. Easy. Again, here's your y-intercept, and I'll just go ahead and plot that. That's going to be right there. And then our slope, this is our slope, 2 over 3. And when you have slopes that are fractions, they're really easy because the top number, that's your rise, and the bottom number is your run. So I now have a starting point, right? My y-intercept, we're going to call that our starting point. And I'm going to plot the next point in the line, going to the left, by rising 2 and running 3. So if I rise 1, 2, and then I run 3, 1, 2, 3, right? There is our next point. If I wanted to keep that pattern going, I'll rise 1, 2, and then run, oops, I'm going to rise 1, 2, and then run 3, 1, 2, 3. A little bit off the graph, but it'll be out here at where 6 would be on the x-axis. And then all you do is you just connect the dots. You just connect the dots like this. You know, it's not going to be perfect because I don't have a nice evenly drawn graph right there, but that's what it should look like. All right, y equals -4/3 x, or -4 over 3x. It doesn't look like we have a y-intercept, but we do. It's, if you don't have one or it's not written, it's just +0. So there is our y-intercept. I'm going to plot that point right there on the y-axis where y is equal to 0. And then our slope here, m, is equal to -4/3. So does the negative go to the top number or the bottom number? Doesn't matter. If it's the top number, right, maybe it's -4 over 3, then we will use this y-intercept as our starting point. We're going to, again, remember it's rise over run. So we're going to rise -4 from that point, which means go down 4. So we'll go down here to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to run +3. So go to the right 3. So 1, 2, 3. Right there. If you made the mistake, it's not really a mistake, but you wrote your slope as 4 over -3, well, it still is going to work the same. Rise over run. This time, again, I'll I'll use that y-intercept as my starting point, but this time I'm going to rise 4. So I'm actually going to go up 4 because the negative is not there anymore. It's down with the 3. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll rise 4, and then I'm going to run -3. So that means I'm going to go to the left. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, put my point there, and check it out. It looks like all of these points line up pretty nicely like that. Y equals -10x minus 5. So again, this is our y-intercept, and it's going to be -5. So always attach that sign that's to the left of the number. If it's a plus, it's going to be +5. If it's negative, it's going to be -5 in this case. And then you can plot that on your graph there. This is our slope. So m is equal to -10. And if you have a whole number like this, I always like to just put it over 1, right? Because -10 over 1 is just -10. But writing it like this allows us to see it as rise over run. And we can plot this super easily. So, so we'll start here. And if I rise 10, so that means go down 10, that's going to be somewhere down here. So if I had drawn this graph larger, we could do it. But since I didn't, what we're going to do instead is we are going to rewrite this as 10 over -1, right? It doesn't matter where you put the negative sign, as long as you don't put it on both of them. So if we do it this way, then our rise is going to be, let's rewrite that, our rise is going to be 10, plus 10, and then our run is going to be -1. So if I rise 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I run 1, or go to the left 1, that point is going to be, right about there. And that's all the room I have on this graph. So if I connect these dots, right, it's going to be a very, very steep line, but still a negative slope. So there you go.